we can do there is we can just click on, you'll see at the top of your toolbar on Tradestation, you'll see that you have a little charting icon there. So you can just click on that and that'll create a new chart. So if you just click on that, it'll give you data into the chart. Now remember, this is a charting package, so the main purpose or aim of the package is to provide you with data. So when we're looking at the charts, we want to make sure that we're getting our data in, and this is a 5-minute chart. Remember last night we spoke about where do we get our information about the chart. Go to Format Symbol and you can select how you want that data to be displayed. So we've selected intraday and it's on a 5-minute chart. We've elected how many days back. So one of the got cut out a bit there. One of the features on Tradestation is you can actually go back to a specific day that you want to trade from or test from, or you can pick a number of bars back, and that's got a maximum I think of 10,000, and you can pick the number of days, weeks, months and years back. So that is excellent. Now what I like to do is I like to test or pick my data back from a certain date, and that's why a lot of the testing we've done has been from the 10th of October, like we said last night, because the 10th of October was, or the 1st of October I should say, was a pretty ordinary month for trading. So why not start with the worst month and see if you can make something happen as far as your performance. So that's what we're looking at. It's a Google chart, so Google's on. Now, where do we find the exchange that Google is traded? So everybody should really, because it's been 24 hours, we should all have this fairly still indelibly imprinted on our minds as far as where we get the exchange information from. So where does that information appear on the chart? Because it was a pretty easy one. So I'm going to be asking a lot of questions tonight as well, because what I want to do is if we have 3 training sessions in a row, we want to review those sessions just quickly, pull out a couple of snapshots, because that will help to embed that information. Because remember, you've got to, if you want to retain information, you've got to review it within 24 hours. If you don't review it within that 24-hour period, then there's a 70% chance of you losing that information. So you want to have that 24-hour review. Upper left of the chart, perfect. So NASDAQ, that's it. So it's really good for finding out where the information is, like which exchange we're trading, because it just tells you straight away. NASDAQ. Now Google sitting at about 589. Now when they first launched these shares, do you know how much these shares launched for on the NASDAQ when they were trading on their first day of trading? What they actually listed for Google? Anybody know what the price was when they first traded? Okay, I'm pretty sure, and I'll have to double check. It was either $35 or $89. So I've got to just double check that one. But it was definitely under 100. So it was well under 100. And have a look at what its price is today. $5.89. So that has been a massive ride for Google. It's just had a huge run up. Now what we want to do is start looking at, you can see the volume is thin, so 200 on the volume. That is terrible. So it's really not actively trading at the moment at all. Now how do we take control of the chart? We've got our pointer. So if you've got your pointer on, so if we go insert, or sorry, if we go to drawing, we see we can either select a small pointer or a large pointer. So that'll change the, and I actually quite like the large pointer. We can click on crosshairs, so that'll come up with crosshairs, and we can actually get the information box there, which is great, date, time, price. So that's excellent, and that just stays on the chart. But if we go back to drawing and go large pointer, that's kind of my favorite. If you hold the mouse down, left hand click, hold the mouse down, you'll actually get that box to stay there. So if we go back to drawing, we can actually have pointer tracking, and what we can do is we can set up a second chart. So if we like this chart, we can go edit, copy, and we can paste that again in the same window, and then we can go into our format symbol, and what we do is we'll go back here in a second. Let's just go back to our window. So if you go to window, you'll see you've got Google Charts. Now we don't need 5 Google Charts, or we might set them up differently, because if we're looking at what the general trend has been on Google, we might go to this chart here, format symbol, and we might set that to a daily chart or a monthly chart. So let's do that. We'll pick it back for, say, 12 months back, so 1 year, and we'll put it to exchange time because that's how we want to trade. And we'll see if that makes much of a difference. Okay, we might take it back for format. Take it back for, say, 3 years, even say 5 years back. There we go. So that's better. You can see a nice little trend up. It's got up to, I think, now if we grab that, we go background dragging. So background dragging helps us to grab the chart. At the moment, we have no control over this chart. Now, interestingly, just if you want to expand your chart, so expand your chart horizontally, just hit your up arrow on your keyboard. So if you have a look at your keyboard and have a look at your, on the right hand side of the keyboard, you'll see print, and then you see home, insert, delete. Just under your delete button, you should see your up and down arrow. Your up arrow will expand the chart, your down arrow will compress the chart. So that's a shortcut. That's a really handy little shortcut. So up arrow will expand, down arrow will compress. So instead of using our decrease bar spacing, increase bar spacing up the right hand side, just use your arrow and that will kind of increase and decrease. So what we have now is we've got a monthly chart on, so we've got a monthly, we've got a 5 minute, so we want to change the 5 minute here to a daily chart. So we'll do that. So we just go to daily. That's 2 years back. Fantastic. And there we go. So that's now a daily chart. Now if we want to see all the charts, we just go arrange vertically, and there they all are there. They're arranged vertically on the chart. So traders, we've got daily, monthly, 5 minute. We'll just move this around so we've got them a bit better positioned here. So if we decide that we want to, we'll leave that as it is. If we decide we want to see how they're going, how each of the price bars are tracking in alignment with each other, so we want to kind of follow the price or the range of price on all three, we can do what's called global tracking. So global tracking means that if I put my cursor here, it will follow price down. So I'm on a daily chart at the moment, so obviously it's not going to move too far on the monthly, but on the 5 minute, so we'll change this chart so it has a little bit more impact. So we'll change this to a, say, a 15 minute. So I'll move that to a 15 minute chart. We'll move this one to a 30-minute chart. So go intraday 30-minute chart, and we'll just see what happens. Then there's a daily. So if we decide that on the 15-minute we're going to move back, see how it starts to, so we've got to make sure we've got global tracking on. So we'll go to global tracking, and we'll reset that. So all that basically does is it helps you go through the charts, and it will move the cursor based on how many bars are setting up, and it will move the other, although it's not working on that one. I don't know. Oh, that's the NASDAQ. No, that's okay, that's fine. So it will move it based on the number of it'll move it based on you moving the cursor that time. Okay, so basically as it moves through the chart, it will move in its 15 or 30-minute increments, and you'll see it on the daily as well as it moves through the daily chart. So if you're tracking multiple currencies or multiple markets and you have them all set at the same time frame, you can see exactly how each price is moving on each of the charts. So that's a good way if you're doing your testing as well. If you want to test different time frames, that's good as well. So guys, that's just the global tracking. A couple of other things. Who has tried to kind of look for information on Tradestation and found that they don't really want to look through a manual or go to a video, but they want some shortcut information on Tradestation? Anybody kind of tried to do that and found it a little bit frustrating? Anybody tried to do any shortcut searching on Tradestation for answers or solutions? Because I'm going to give you a great way of doing that here in a second. So if you want to, instead of actually looking for the manual or trying to find how to get something on Tradestation by going to the website, a great way of doing it is to use Google. So we're going to do a Google, the right symbol, but I'm going to show you how to do it using Google here. So if you click on Google now, and then what we're going to do is we're going to basically, this is a great way of finding shortcut quick solutions to Tradestation. So all you need to do is type in this code here, and I'll just put this in. So we'll paste that in. So site, you just type in site:/http tradestation.com, and then what you do is basically whatever the keyword is you're looking for. Say you decided, like, I want to find out as much as I can about, say, the MACD, which is the moving average, convergence, divergence. So it's one of the many 300 indicators that are available through Tradestation. So if you're generally interested in that indicator, and you want to find some more information out about it, you just click on enter using that search function, and it will bring up all the information on Tradestation's website that relates to the MACD. So whether indicators, any forum posts, any strategy information, shortcuts, anything at all that people have written about the MACD or general information about the MACD, it will have on that. So it's a really good way of kind of getting specific information and narrowing that down. So you can, if there's other things that you want to search for or look up, you can do that. So that is definitely very handy. So that shortcut was basically just there. So you just put normally http://Tradestation, but site in front is the key. So that's a great little way of kind of finding information about your favorite indicator or some particular thing that you want to look up. Now let's do a couple of other things. Now what happens when Tradestation goes down? If Tradestation crashes, you can't get you're going to probably lose your ELD or your data. So a good thing to do is to actually go into Tradestation and set up a backup and restore function. So if you click on File and run down to Backup Restore, you will see that Backup Tradestation is actually there, and you can set this up so it's actually picking up some of the critical things that you want to save. So I want to data cache that. That's definitely one thing I want to have. So anything that you have ticked here will get saved in your backup. So there's a backup area on Tradestation, and this backs up. And now I've got this backing up monthly. Now that's way too long to wait. So I'm going to change that to weekly, and I want it to basically back up once a week. And I'm going to schedule an automatic backup. So what happens if my computer crashes or my Tradestation crashes, and this happens a fair bit. If your Tradestation goes down, what you want to do is you want to be able to retrieve that information, because what happens is that you save workspaces, ELDs, all the testing you've done. If your Tradestation goes down, you've basically lost it. and this has happened to me. So we want to schedule it. We want to do it probably late AM, so, or early AM I should say. So we'll change that to maybe maybe 1 AM or say 3 AM, and it runs on a weekly so it'll run on, it runs weekly and it'll run on weekdays only, and it's actually running on a Friday night, say Saturday, Friday night, and it runs weekly. So that's perfect. So that means that it's not going to impact too much on my trading, because I should be finished by then, and we'll close that and save that. So that will save the files that it'll archive the backup